I got enough juice left in me for one more chapter, so let's get this party underway. Fame, lawlessness, still pretty high. Offensive, yeah, that's definitely us. We've become more of a team player since the Hero Project began. We've unleashed a bit more. Or definitely with the popular kids, the cool kids, and we're more loved and hated, because of course we are. Black Magic loves us, Grandma loves us, Ginny is a little frustrated, Lucky is devastated. Rebellion and Rexford are seeing the value of how awesome I am. The ineffable. Let's go. Next chapter, Showmantic. Chapter 9. Holy slugger. Rubbing the sleep out of your eyes, you look down at a hollow copy of today's Millennial Orbit. At first, you were pissed that Meatship J2 woke you up with an alert. But now you're glad she did, because you have to keep your jaw from hitting the floor as you read Black Magic's Twisted Tale. The super famous Millennia City hero and Hero Project finalist draws her power from the life force of the disabled. Yes, I remember that revelation. And the ineffable was pretty much like, eh. Your mind immediately flashes to that room, the one with those people and that golden vat and the smell. You have to bring your hand up to your mouth just thinking about it. You scan the hollow article and have no idea where to even begin. How does secret come out of now of all times? Who released it? How is this going to affect Black Magic? What does this mean for the hero? How is this going to affect her? Flipping through the rest of the hollow paper, you look for reports about yesterday's botched mission and Killick's escape, but it doesn't seem to be featured anywhere. Could the producers really have been that successful at keeping wraps on the high-profile mission until it airs on Wednesday? You suppose you were on a deserted island in the Big Store wasteland, but still it was a pretty major operation. Emotions pour over you as you consider the magnitude of this article. You try to sort through the thoughts clanging around in your head, long enough to settle on one. Could the Hero Project have leaked Black Magic's secret to distract from this week's failure? Because this week's failure is very conspicuously absent. And as someone at the Hero Project really is responsible for this leak, what could they do to you in the future? Just as this thought settles, the door to your room swings open and Gigi rolls in. Up and Adam, George McAdams, you've been asleep for ages. Look, Noel's already been awake and mingling for hours. There's much to be done. But I thought we were supposed to have today off, you groan, pulling up your covers. You do, which is why you need to use it to get in some quality finalist bonding time. After yesterday's egregious misfire, Rexford wants us to focus Wednesday's episode on all the juicy... and all the juicy finalist drama. Where is Black Magic, you ask, reaching for your MC hoodie. Not a meeting with her team prepping for a press conference. I really was a big fan of Blackie, but this... Oh, well, it's quite the scandal, no? Anyway, you'll have plenty of time for all that later. Rexford has mandated that you get some time with your little showman's partners later tonight, given this week's vote. Come again? Showman's partners? What? It's silly goose. Black Magic stage show Lucky the Bear are eligible for the vote this week, which means you'll probably have to vote to send either Black Magic or Lucky packing. Slugger, you were so exhausted last night you didn't even think of the vote. Well... I stay loyal to the populars, I'll have to vote for Lucky. Which I think I'm okay with. Yeah. Let's get her out of here. And if she truly is the wonder dog, then she'll find a way somehow, even with this vote. I'm fucking sure of it. Yeah, just glorious her always getting another damn chance. Whatever. The Fame monster has changed since his parents were thrust into the void after everything that happened with Prodigal and the Death Wave. We don't have fucking time for Blake anymore. Anyway, you have all week until Thursday's live vote show to make up your mind, Gigi says, but right now the Crush has requested a brunch with you, and you're going. So get dressed, see you downstairs in 45 minutes. With that, Gigi rolls back out the door, not even giving you a chance to weigh in on this brunch. In 45 minutes, you're not sure you could process everything that's happened this morning if you had all day, let alone 45 minutes. Not to mention prepare for a meal with one of the world's most terrifying powered individuals ever. The show must go on, you suppose. 1 hour later. You sit in an outdoor garden, a pleasant breeze against your face. This seems like the first minute you've had to sit and enjoy yourself since the competition started. It feels so good just to breathe for a moment, to soak in this much-needed break. You're the only one on the patio since the production staff cleared out this restaurant, so you could film your brunch here. You've been waiting for the Crush for a few minutes, but you don't mind. The quiet feels lovely. Especially after the ride over here, as you gazed out of the transport window, Millennia City seemed to take on a different quality. The streets looked the same, but everything just felt different, like it was all somehow crisper. And then when you arrived at the restaurant, you were rushed by screaming fans and camera flashes. You have no idea the producers planted them there or not, but you do know that it felt slugging good. You also caught a glimpse of a hollow billboard while you were crossing downtown, which featured all the Hero Project finalists, with a tagline underneath their heroic poses. Been watching every episode, of course, but this gave you a further glimpse into the storyline the Hero Project is building for each of you as finalists. And Herod is the icon, Jury is the prodigy, Black Magic the heartthrob, Fumble and Stage Show the it couple, Null's the dark horse, the bear is the muscle, Lucky's the underdog, Wintry's the dreamer, Mock Girl's America's sweetheart, the Crush is the redeemed, Summit's the upstart, and Scoundrel's the rebel. The redeemed, huh? Since we're coming to meet him. The Crush's mysterious presence on the Hero Project has probably been one of the most buzzed about topics surrounding the show, and one that the producers have kept fairly quiet about. The Crush hasn't been featured much, so his road to redemption hasn't really yet been traveled. You bet that the brunch you're about to have will be the Crush's breakout moment on Wednesday's episode. But you suppose it depends on how this goes. We began with Black Magic, but right now we need to focus on the Crush. You didn't have time to go through every finalist, so you saved the billboard taglines to your Me-Chip show stats screen to review whenever you want. Great, and I guess we'll review the heartthrob here. Being one of the hottest heroes on the planet, it makes perfect sense Black Magic would get this title. The focus is rarely on anything but her looks, but you're sure a lot is about to change for Black Magic after this morning's article. Still, Black Magic has been one of the top contenders in the competition so far. She snagged a key into the final selection, was one of the first 6 finalists called for the final 14, and then won the first mission. Black Magic's very first loss came this past mission, even though she had one of the higher leaderboard scores on her team. This is a terrible time for her to become vulnerable in the competition. It would be really shocking for Black Magic to go home, especially right on the heels of her very public scandal. But you know if there's one thing America loves more than an inspirational success story, it's a highly visible fall from grace. Looking through all these heroes, the Hero Project certainly has a good variety of storylines and hero types, plus a healthy mix of existing super celebrities and rising stars. It seems the Hero Project doesn't just want to find stars, they want to make them too. Taking all that into consideration, your own tagline seems rather fitting. The ineffable. The fighter. How do you feel about this label? It's definitely true. We have been a fighter this entire fucking time. Thanks for making me a fighter, Me-Chip J2 says, punching the air with rhinestone-covered boxing gloves. Smile at Me-Chip J2's enthusiasm, knowing that wasn't the only label you were assigned. After all the strategy decisions you've been making, you were also pegged as a ruthless strategist, a label that has earned you an additional legend bump. Staying true to your ruthless strategist type has definitely paid off, and for better or worse, the strategy type has been locked in for the rest of the competition. It's too late to turn back now. Oh yeah. Whatever it takes to win. Additionally, you were featured prominently in last week's episodes between the team divide over how to act during the Kulik mission and your swing vote status between the warring alliances. You were at the center of the competition's biggest storylines. You know all the finalists have become instant national superstars, but you also know how quickly star power like that can fade, so you try not to let yourself take it for granted. Still, you think back to those general auditions all those months ago. You aren't quite sure how you outlasted thousands of heroes to be here today. So for the first time since you entered the Hero Project, you allow yourself to think about what it will be like if you actually win. If all of your dreams would really be coming true. All of your dreams would really be coming true. Sorry for the wait, there were some unexpected delays, the Crush says, his voice smooth and calm, but you notice the remnants of some eggshells on the shoulder of his costume and the smell of stain remover. It's no secret that the Crush isn't a fan favorite, but still. It's fine, I was enjoying having a few minutes to myself, actually. Yes, that does seem to be a rather foreign concept these days, the Crush says, folding his napkin neatly in his lap. Though to be truthful, I've had enough quiet moments to last a lifetime. You look at the Crush, and his amber eyes are blazing. He has such an intense presence, such a graceful way about him. It's unsettling, especially knowing what he has done. I'm very curious why you asked me to brunch today. There's much to say, the Crush starts, but let us start with something to eat. I'm starved. With the wave of the Crush's hand, a young waitress approaches to take your order, but before you even say anything, you can see that their hand is shaking so badly she won't be able to write anything down. Perhaps you could have someone else take our order, the Crush says, giving the girl the excuse she needs to get away as fast as possible. Do you ever get used to that? You ask, almost feeling bad. Besides, you know what it's like to be vilified ever after everything that happened with Prodigal, your sidekick, Sonya, and the Death Wave. This is the bed I made for myself, the Crush sighs. But the answer is no. 15 minutes later, after the manager comes out to take your orders and gets the Crush a cup of coffee, the Crush looks much more at ease. Now we don't have much time, so let us cut to the chase. I'm sure you have many questions for me, so let's begin there. You look across at the Crush and think of Jenny. What would she want you to find out? I think we're going to have an opportunity to go through all these. You know, it's given us an opportunity to go through all these damn radio buttons, despite it saying much time. We have, like, this thing here at the end. So, let's get to it. Why are you here? I was released into the Hero Project with the help of Mayor Victon, Rebellion, and Rexford to prove that the powered rehabilitation of the Devoid really works. I want to show that because of the help I have received, I am not the man I once was. And it is a great joy that I am also able to provide insight into Kulik's potential thought process. Kulik and the old Crush have a lot in common, I'm afraid. The Crush crosses his legs, causing his starched white costume to crinkle at the folds. He glances over at one of the filming cameras, wondering why the Crush has chosen to reveal this information here and now. He must have some kind of approval from Mayor Victon, though a very large part of you hopes that he doesn't. Whatever the case, this might be your chance to deal Mayor Victon some damage, and help Jenny's investigation at the same time. Why did Mayor Victon keep his role in placing you a secret? This whole thing reeks of the meek. Project. Why would Mayor Victon release you when he stands for powered regulation, especially concerning Infini Powereds? I believe his reason would be to prove that his powered regulation platform works with the biggest success story there is, the Crush explains. Then why didn't Mayor Victon give my parents the same treatment as you? You ask, unable to hide the anger in you voice. That I cannot answer, I'm afraid, the Crush offers, but Mayor Victon aside, I know what people must expect of me in my placement here. I cannot blame them. This is why I recently submitted myself to a full psychic exploration, one that is about to become available to the public. I want to show people that this new me has nothing to hide. You want to say more about Mayor Victon, but doing so would only prove crass, after the Crush's admission. Besides, if what the Crush just said is true about the public psychic report, that changes Jenny's investigation quite a bit. What has your experience been with your Infini powers? I don't dare to blame anything other than myself for what I've done, but my Infini powers certainly played a large part. I envy you young heroes being raised in a time when there's now a dialogue about such things. But for me, I found myself with all this power, far more than anyone else I'd ever met. I could literally move mountains if I wanted to. So for a long time, I thought I was a god among men, that I was meant to remake things in my own image, to use my powers to their fullest extent. I now see that I was wrong. The Crush takes a sip of his coffee, then forces himself to go on. Today I see that my powers are a privilege and a dangerous one at that. The urge to cut loose to make myself superior, it always lingers. I have to be constantly careful to keep my abilities in check. I can never let my guard down, otherwise I might destroy everything. Most people can't imagine what it's like to have that much power. How can they possibly know what it's like to have so much influence over others? Very few people experience how lonely it can be, how hard it can be to relate to others. But you know, don't you, the ineffable? You look at the Crush, your jaw clenched. But then you nod, because whether you're ready to admit it or not, you know exactly what the Crush is talking about. That kind of loneliness can drive a person to do dark things, the Crush continues. For me, it's a constant struggle to stay grounded, and I'm so thankful for the treatment I've received, and for this opportunity to make amends. You nod once again, taking a sip of water, but all you can think is that this is a very real reminder of what you can become if you make the wrong choices. Though you don't think you're quite ready to open up about these fears, especially not in front of a national audience, so you move on to your next question. Why did you do the things that you did? I think about the answer to that question more than you can know, the Crush says, pausing to gather his thoughts. I came from the happiest home and was offered every opportunity. It's not as if there was a source of unusual pain or strife propelling me into darkness. But I suppose that I was entitled, spoiled, and educated at the finest universities with the grandest ideas, told to always think big. I thought I was meant to change the world. Combine that with the vast amount of power I was given, I suppose it was the perfect storm. You can't believe the Crush is speaking so candidly with you in front of all these cameras. Still, it's a pretty remarkable moment to be a part of, one you'd be very anxious to watch yourself if you were at home. I don't want to rehash my youthful beliefs here and now, but I truly wanted a place for outsiders to belong. I saw the divide in our country, the inability to compromise, and our resulting declining world status, and I thought it was my calling to remake things in my own image. I thought that America needed a revolution, a new powered king to usher us into this bold new era, and that any means were justified by this end. The bigger my ego inflated and the more powerful I became, the more people seemed to want to follow me. I told myself it was about the political beliefs at first, but really, the influence was intoxicating. To be revered and feared like that? The Crush pauses again, a dark look overtaking him. He's obviously about to speak about the end result of all his grand notions. I'm so thankful that those heroes stopped me when they did, but still, it was only after I led other people to commit heinous crimes in my name. I may never have killed anyone myself, but that doesn't make me any less guilty. Now I know how wrong I was in just about every way. You take a moment to let the words sink in, then consider what you want to say. Before you can, the Crush speaks up again. Whatever you were going to say, you can be sure I've already said it to myself. So what's your next question? You think you'll continue to act alone in this competition? I've already decided that my place is with the underdog heroes. That is, if they'll have me. You nodded the Crush, annoyed that he's adding numbers to the opposing alliance, especially after losing Fumble. But you're not exactly about to begin an argument with him. The Crush seems like someone who's fairly unmovable once he makes up his mind. I reckon spending time in the Devoid and, alone with his thoughts without stimulation could maybe do that. We're finished. You look down at your plate, trying to process everything the Crush has just told you, and all you can think is that I have no idea how to feel about the Crush. I don't know how much of that's a story. I don't know how much of that's truth. I don't know how much all that is the Crush being deceitful. I don't know how much of that's just being, put on for the cameras. I don't know. I have something I've been really wanting to ask you, but I don't know. The Crush waves his hand to silence you, and you stop speaking immediately, though you have no idea why. It just seems like a very smart thing to listen to the Crush, whether you want to or not. I have been deciding how to broach this topic, but the time has finally come, the Crush says. I can't say much about the Devoid for many reasons, and your parents and I were in very different places. But they did get this message to me when word spread about the terms of my release. The Crush pauses and you feel all of the air drain from your lungs. You're about to hear the first words from your parents in years. Could it really be true? They asked me to share this message. We're watching, Grimith, and we're too proud for words. You blink, trying to hold yourself together, but all you can feel is overwhelmed. What a way to crack through the fame monster right there. Whew. You can't even begin to contemplate what this means for you. Before you can finish processing that thought, the Crush moves on. While we still have a chance, I feel I must ask you this. How are you doing with the development of your Infini power? The Crush asks this with a loaded look. After all, he knows how much he helped you at the end of the last mission. Trust me, I know a thing or two about what it's like to be thought of as a gene hazard, he adds. You look at the Crush, deciding how you want to respond, and knowing that Ginny would want you to stay on good terms with the investigation, no matter what. My powers are working just fine. I'm glad to hear that, but if that ever changes, I want you to feel you can come and speak to me. About anything, for that matter. The Crush smiles at you, and despite everything, you feel some genuine warmth radiating from him. You might just take him up on that offer. Well then, I'm afraid that's all we have time for at the moment, the Crush says, already standing up, but I do hope we have the opportunity to chat again. You stand to shake the Crush's hand. Your mind has already gone elsewhere, because you have quite a bit to think about after this. Hours later. Back at the contestant mansion, you sit in one of the backyard gardens, secluded from the rest of the finalists. You needed some time alone, because you're not even sure where to begin. We only have a few minutes. You jump up, energy rippling across your skin, At first you can only see a bluish haze, but then you make out Null across the garden, which actually doesn't do much to ease your nerves. She looks as terrifying as ever. I activated my anti-surveillance tech to take out the cameras, but we'll only have a few minutes before someone checks up on us. We can't be seen together, especially not talking about this. All these fucking dialogue options are about the stupid fucking vote. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not here to talk about it. I'm sure you'll do the right thing this time around. But I assume you wanted to talk about my brunch with the crush. Bingo. But first, this scoundrel mess has changed everything. You keep picturing that turkey versus sloth fight in the first mission, which was super short from what you saw of the episode footage. Was that planned? Could Speedy's capture have been a trap? And if so, how long has Scoundrel been a mole for the Infra Order? I didn't even think of that! I just thought that it appealed to her, like so dejected and broken after every fucking thing that, like, no one fucking understands Scoundrel. Like, I didn't even think about, like, her just gliding across the fucking, like, damn. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I should have thought of that. And if so, how long has Scoundrel been a mole for the Infra Order? Or did she decide to switch after getting eliminated? You have no idea, but you do know that Ginny probably has the answers. To make it all more complicated, I'm sure you've heard that the Crush submitted to a full psychic workup. If he has any ill intentions, we can't find them, Ginny explains. Yep, I was pretty much going to say the same thing. He told me all this at the brunch. He seemed oddly centered. Well, he really is, as far as our best experts can tell, and now that it appears Scoundrel was probably the terrorist mole from the Infra Order all along. The RPR has called off my investigation in any official capacity. Oof. Okay. The RPR is like, yep, you're done. Scoundrel was it, not the Crush. Everything's fine. Your boss. Yep. Logger, that was quick. But you can tell from Ginny's tone that she's not done yet. What's your next move, then? Exactly the right question. I'm going to stick around as long as I can. The Infinity intel still doesn't quite pan out, and just because we can't find something wrong with the Crush, it doesn't mean he should still be trusted. He should be trusted, so something could still be brewing here. I just have no idea what now. You look over Ginny and respond. I'll help you with whatever you need, Jenny. I got your back still. I'm with you. Unless it involves a vote. But you're my handler. We've been together through a whole lot of things. I'll help you with this investigation. That means a lot, Grimith. I'll be sure to keep you posted. Listen, before we run out of time, I have to ask. Did the Crush tell you anything you think I should know? You start, not really sure how to finish that sentence. He gave me a message from my parents. At that, Ginny sits down on the bench next to you and activates another anti-camera pulse. Shouldn't you be saving those for... This is more important, Ginny says, putting a hand on your knee. Now spill. 3 hours later. What am I supposed to do with this? You twirl the rose between your fingers. Not sure whether it's real or fake. We've got a special date night all set up for you. Gigi says you're taking that rose to your boo. After you talked at length with Ginny, Gigi called to tell you to get into evening formal wear for the night. Now you know why. Obviously the show wants to push the showmance angle here pretty hard. So, make a move. What you gonna do? I ain't got no time for no looky-loo, boo. Ain't got no time for that. Damn it, Gigi! Flapping his single lady hand in front of his face. After voting with the populars, you ruined any potential relationship with Lucky, so Gigi must be talking about black magic, which makes sense since she is your girlfriend. Guess I should go find black magic then, shouldn't I? Minutes later. Black Magic opens her door, wearing a gown that makes her look completely stunning. She sees the rose and snatches it with a smile. Meet me on the balcony in suite in 15 minutes, she says, closing the door. I've got to take care of something first. Thinking about the first date you've had in ages, you can't help but feel a rush of excitement. 15 minutes later, you walk out onto the balcony, which has a gorgeous view of MC's twinkling lights in the distance. A full dinner is set with candles and red linen and at least 3 bottles of wine, but you don't see black magic. Over here. You turn towards the infinity pool, but it's empty. Where is that voice? In the jacuzzi, Black Magic says, but there's no one there. Just come here, stupid. You walk towards the jacuzzi, suddenly walk through a purple barrier you didn't see before. And there's your girlfriend, her clothes crumpled at the side of the jacuzzi, bubbling water licking at her bare chest. Steam rises up to her face, making her look devastatingly like Natalie Portman. That fucking description. Every time it does that, that gets me. I thought we needed some privacy from the camera, she says, eyes sparkling. We're getting in a fucking jacuzzi. Within seconds, you're down to your underwear, ready to join Black Magic. No fair, I'm not wearing any underwear. Following suit, you take off the rest, hoping the cameras really are obscured by Black Magic's powers. Dipping into the warm water feels amazing, but not as amazing as Black Magic pressing against you, her wet skin sliding against yours. You reach your hands across her back and she kisses you, making all of your senses light up. Every time it feels like fireworks. Black Magic pulls away and you almost grin at the separation. She casts some of her bullshit powers, she whispers, causing the water to part around your body. The cold air rushes at your bare skin and you nearly gasp. And Black Magic goes down, and you really do gasp. Much later. You lie next to Black Magic on the grass, a blanket all that separates you from the stars. You got lost in each other for quite some time until Black Magic's handler had the guts to request you let the cameras film you again. Even then, it took some time to get out of Black Magic's haze. I like that. The handler's like, hey, can we, like for the show, come on, you know. The camera is now circling you again. The mood has definitely changed. Black Magic holds you close, but looks like she is a million miles away. You decide to finally ask her some questions about what happened earlier today. How are you holding up? Really, you ask. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I haven't let myself read or hear any of the public's reaction. He starts. I'm not sure I care what people think, but all my fans, I just don't want to disappoint them. Black Magic squeezes you, and you pull her closer, not sure what else to do. So, you start trying to phrase this next question delicately. What are you going to do about your powers now? I don't think what I was doing was wrong, Black Magic says. It was just private. I care about those people more than anything, and I use what they give me for good, but there's talk of criminal charges and... Black Magic can't seem to finish that sentence. My powers are about breaking the limits. I get to see the possible, where others only see the impossible. I don't know. How can I leave that behind? The last person I dated said my power made me lazy and overconfident, that I thought I was so above the rules everyone else lives by I couldn't really relate to anyone else. Do you think I'm like that? You think of how little you've seen Black Magic and how your relationship pretty much exists on her terms. But then you think of all she has given you at the same time. I don't know. Maybe learning to use my power less will help, Black Magic says before you can answer. I don't know what to do, Grimith. For the first time in my career, I just feel so vulnerable and lost. Really feel for Black Magic, know what it's like to get bad press. I just have to be here for Black Magic as much as possible. I wish there was something I could do to help. I can't help but feel like Black Magic is talking to the cameras more than me. Be honest with Black Magic, tell her, can't help but feel like she's talking to the cameras more than me. But we do know what it's like to get bad press. This Fame Monster understands the hell that is bad press. Let's not be cynical with this one. We get bad press. We understand. Yeah, let's not be cynical. Let's give her the benefit of the fucking doubt. You'll survive this, Black Magic. It was never going to stay perfect forever. Black Magic nods, not looking particularly reassured. Listen, I have something to tell you, Black Magic says, propping herself up and no doubt looking great for the cameras. There's a reason why I've hidden my true identity and my past for so long, but it's time everyone learned the truth. Most of all, you. You stare at Black Magic, your heart picking up its pace. S pace. Is she really about to reveal her origin, one of the hottest secrets in the business? My name is Lucia Taylor, and I was an orphan like you. Except I had no loving grandma to take me in. My parents died when I was a teenager, and I had nowhere to go. So I ran to MC with nothing but a dream of being someone else, of becoming famous and respected and loved. I took on a secret identity to spell. My powers were so new and chaotic I could barely use them. I couldn't find any heroing opportunities, so instead of going to work for that awful Madame Vice, I started picking up extra volunteer shifts at one of the hospitals. That way I could scrounge whatever food I needed and find someplace to sleep on the nights I wasn't patrolling. But as I worked there, I found that the patients would give me strength, literally. Just being around their unused life force, I found I soaked it up without even knowing. And suddenly I had all this ridiculous power, which I could control perfectly. So I started getting better. I changed my name to Black Magic. When I came across the terrorist attack that started my career, it was blind luck. I was at the hospital when reports started rolling in. With my new teleportation powers, I was first on the scene. The spell wouldn't have lasted 2 seconds against that threat. But Black Magic, she could handle anything. I stopped the whole thing single-handedly. From there, everything changed. The fame came literally overnight, and with it came legitimate heroing opportunities. Opportunities that I needed power for. I didn't like how I got the power, but I also couldn't go back to the nothing I had before. So I did what was necessary to keep it. And here we are today. Oh, that fourth option. Yeah, this definitely does seem like a camera performance, but the Fame Monster understands. Y'all, the Fame Monster gets it, okay? This is not the thing that we bring up right now. That is not the thing we bring up right now. Black Magic has the same story. Why we're so interwoven together. Things end up being on her terms. Really, things would end up being on Ginny's terms anyway, right? They'd always end up being on someone else's fucking terms. Well, we've eked out our own terms, though. We carved them into flesh and spirit, or something fucking melodramatic like that. She has the same story. And all you can do is kiss her hard. You just smile at Black Magic, and after that, there's not much more to say on the subject. So about the vote, Black Magic transitions, not missing a beat. It looks like I need you now, more than ever. If I get nominated after this mess, I'll go home. And if I go home, I'm afraid my career is over. I think the Hero Project is my only chance of redemption. You're about to answer, but if you follow the plan and vote with the populace for Lucky and the Bear, I'll be safe. I can stay here with you. Do it, Grimith. Black Magic says, sliding her hand up your thigh and bringing her lips to brush against yours. Black Magic's hand goes to work and you close your eyes. Do it for me. 4 days later. The screens go dark and you hope that when the lights come up, no one will see how red your cheeks are. You've just finished a live screening of Wednesday night's 2-hour episode of The Hero Project, which featured maybe 30 minutes of castle mission footage and 90 minutes of finalist drama. The producers did quite a good job of covering up the mission's failures with the splashy, soapy antics of your fellow contestants. You were most intrigued by Winter's betrayal. Hold up, what? Dark Secret, yeah. Stage shows, Having Fight the Bear, yeah. Inheringer's Bromance, yeah. Brunch, yeah, we were there. No So's Intense Friendship, My Date, yeah. Wintry's Betrayal, what? After a brand new friendship budded with Stage Show, it appears Wintry has made a deal to leave the underdogs and join the populars. You still haven't had a chance to process how that's going to affect the competition moving forward. Of course, the episode did a lot to set up the next elimination vote as well, playing up the rivalry between the populars and the underdogs. Naturally, given your past romances, your position in the vote was portrayed dramatically as well. And you got a small legend boost, since your role helping in the escape was featured prominently in the brief mission segment. A legend boost of a legend. Doesn't look like we can look at those other, stories, which is a pity. I really did gravitate towards that first thing. They're like, what? So, that was the thing that most interested me. We saw the date, and we saw the brunch, and the Black Magic stuff. Yeah, we knew about that. Wintry. What could it mean? What is she angling? What's going on here, yeah? Walking out of the screening room, you enter a post-episode party on the ground floor of the mansion. You scan the room for some hors d'oeuvres. You haven't eaten a proper dinner today. You've been fantasizing about Grandma's hearty cooking. Because the production schedule this week has been particularly grueling. There's still no word on Kulik's next move yet, so the Hero Project has kept the finalists as busy as possible with press events, heroic outings, and general footage opportunities, all of which you've been told is meant to mimic what life will be like if you make it on the American Protectorate. Every day, there's hours of rigorous training, holographic mission simulations against Kulik, and tapings for confessional interviews, but your favorite day of this week has been charity work, hometown visit, government debrief and political gala, party and a tour of the Hall of Fame. You know, Grandma, I like you, you're awesome and fun and all, but Fame Monster, yeah! Though sleeping hasn't really been part of the schedule, so you're just doing your best to stay alert and motivated. The inevitable, come join us, and Harriet calls from across the room. Feeling relieved to have something to do other than dream about sleep, you make your way over. Black Magic had to stay behind for some extra interviews, but the rest of the populars are with Harriet. Jury stands with a glass of scotch, toying with his ab muscles through his costume. Stage show sips a martini, locked in conversation with her new best friend, Wintry, whom you hardly recognize. You had seen in the episode that ever since Mock Girl's elimination, Wintry was feeling even more challenged in the competition. After losing Fumble, Stage Show quit her spoiled brat routine long enough to bond with Wintry over their losses. Apparently the two have been inseparable ever since, so much so that Wintry seems to have jumped to the popular side of things. To solidify the switch, she has arrived tonight with an entirely new look, an asymmetrical bob, ice blue makeup, a new sexier costume, brand new diamond earrings, and a striking crystal icicle necklace. I like this the most. Yeah. She's blinged up. That's what'll make her popular. This other stuff, based on what we've seen of the character. I mean, who can say, right? Like, empty nester. She needs, like, you change a life. You know? It's her lifelong dream. And, the rug got pulled out under her after the Ineffable lied to her face. And Mock Girl. And Mock Girl just got schismed away from Wintry. Wintry may be the sort of person who looks at Mock Girl, thinks of, like, her daughter. And, you know, like, would have been cool with Mock Girl, like, being the most popular one. But now, Wintry's here, having to carry on both their fucking legacies or whatever. Let's do this. It has elegance, class, which is how Wintry comes across. Comes across? What the fuck, Grimith? Yeah, this is the last chapter we're doing today. It looks like this Real Housewife received quite the star makeover from a bona fide reality hero star herself. What do you think of my Wintry Minx's new look? Absolutely fabulous, no? Stage Show says, prompting Wintry to put a hand on her hip and pose. I figured if I'm here, I might as well look the part, Wintry says, allowing herself to smile. This is quite the change, but after losing Fumble, gaining Wintry as a popular is definitely a good thing. Though you can still feel the tension coming at you from Wintry. It's clear she hasn't forgiven you for voting for her last week and sending her former best friend home. Luckily, Wintry is smart enough to play nice this week, but you wonder how long that will last. Look at us, an alliance of power couples. Stage Show starts. Me and Wintry here. Good old boys, Jury and Inherit. Then you and Black Magic. Stage Show hits you with the biggest smile she can muster. One you can see right through. Before you can respond, Jury sniggers audibly, still gnawing his way through an ice cube. Stage Show is selling this alliance thing pretty hard, which makes sense since she's up for elimination for the second time, alongside Black Magic. Which is good because I heard that the Crush joined those underdogs. Still, that only gives them 4 votes, Stage Show adds, posing for a nearby camera. That makes us the 6 heroes of the majority vote, Inherit concludes. 6 heroes destined for humble victory. The Ineffable, I'm afraid I have to steal you away for a moment, Rexford says, suddenly appearing next to you. Could you please follow me? Not having much of a choice, you follow Rexford across the main floor and away from the party. This won't take very long, but I have someone here who needs to have a word with you, Rexford says, not bothering to turn and face you as he speaks. I'm sorry we haven't had much time to chat since the show started. Things have been rather busy, as you already know. But the Popular Alliance is tracking very well with our viewers, so I'm happy you decided to head in that direction. Keep up the good work, and I see very big things for you in the near future, kiddo. Rexford pats you on the back and hits you with a huge smile, and it immediately makes you wonder if Rexford had anything to do with Wintry's sudden change of heart, too. Why do I feel like I'm being led into a set of more fucking mind games? You open your mouth to answer, but Rexford swings open a door and points you inside the library, making it very clear he isn't interested in hearing your response. Best of luck in there, Rexford says, already turning away. No doubt to put out or start another fire. Oh, by the way, your meeting with your little showman's gone wrong. Have fun! Slugger, I was wondering, like, when this wouldn't come up. It's now. Thank you for meeting with me, Lucky says as she enters, as if you had a choice in being here. I don't have much to say. I know you have a history with black magic, but you and I have history, too. Lucky says this, and all you can think of is the young Blake kissing you for the very first time. Despite yourself, emotions bubble up in your chest. I'm here for my family, Grimith. You know I'm the oldest, and my poor mom, with all my younger siblings, they need me to do this. And I need this. I don't have anything to go back to. No money, no career. Can you say that for the other elimination-eligible finalists? That's not what's most important here, Lucky. Like, we don't determine who's the best, who's the greatest, who's the most effective based on what your family life is like. My parents got thrown in the fucking void. Wrongly. I was outcast in the fucking fringes with my grandma, and I had to go through that whole prodigal shit. That's not what's most important here. I don't mean to make this any harder for you than it has to be, but this might be my only shot. I know you've decided to side with the populars, and I'm not asking you to align with me or betray anyone, but you're the only one I can ask this of. Your support could mean everything, depending on how Summit votes. If you decide to switch your one vote from me to the stage show, I could stay safe. Lucky picks her eyes up off the floor to meet your gaze. I need you, Grimith. Please, don't forget who I am. And with that, Lucky turns to leave. Slugger, it looks like you've got another big decision to make. Should you split your vote between alliances so you can save someone you have a history with? But if you do that, what will it cost you? These are the thoughts running through your mind as you walk back into the hallway and find Black Magic and Lucky staring each other down just outside. Your first thought is to step back immediately and keep out of sight. The last thing you need right now is to be in the middle of this particular face-off. Your second thought is that Rexford must have had something to do with the timing of this little meeting and alerting all of the camera orbs that arrived to capture it. Oh, perfect. Just what I need today, Black Magic says to Lucky. Friendly word of advice? I'd start packing now if I were you. That's so sweet of you, Lucky says, but I can't understand why in the world you feel threatened by little old me. Who says I'm threatened? Black Magic asks, almost laughing. Oh no, I'm sure you're this nice to everyone you meet, Lucky says, turning to walk away. Actually, there's been a lot of press about your particular brand of charity lately, hasn't there? Damn. Oh. Grimith can, me personally, the reader, the narrator, can look at Lucky and nod profusely, but, Fame Monster. In a committed relationship. And, Black Magic, can be just as superficial as the Ineffable is, you know? So, yeah. That's where we're going. That was still really good, though. We can all appreciate that, right? Hearing this, Black Magic lurches forward towards Lucky, fists curled, but Black Magic's handler pulls her back just in time, giving Lucky the chance to make a clean exit. Black Magic's handler then escorts her away, talking her down as they go. Slugger, you think, creeping back around the corner. That could have got a lot worse. As you head back upstairs, you know that when it comes to this next vote, you'd better choose carefully, because it could potentially change everything for you. One day later. You'd had hoped you'd have things figured out by now, but there are still some nagging doubts lingering, which isn't great since you're standing in the Hero Project voting booth on Live 3V right now. Just like that, just like last time, so much rides on this vote. Your potential relationships, friendships and alliances, your reputation, your place in the show, your standing with Rexford after his little suggestion, and perhaps most importantly, another hero's life. You can't help but think that, once again, everyone will know how you voted. One way or another, you'll be choosing to affiliate with an alliance, abandon another, or ride the middle. Be seen as a hero or a villain, loyal or a floater, smart or stupid. And unfortunately, it's the time to decide what to do. Her character just welches on responsibility. He runs from confrontation. What kind of hero are you? You stare down at the voting machine with the eligible buttons. Reaching your finger out, you try to tell yourself that you're doing the right thing. So, what combination do we vote for? We could not vote for Lucky or Black Magic. Stick to the Bear and Stage Show. We could hoist our girlfriend up and just have her die in a fire. Or we could save Black Magic and also preserve Lucky. I think I just said that option at the start. But based on how we gave the options out and how we feel, and our character being pissed about Lucky and everything that's transpired, I think we'll stick with our alliance here. Lucky and the Bear. Let's see whether she can be saved this time. Or whether we were truly her last hope. You clearly think that sticking with the populars is your best bet to win. You just hope you're right. 2 hours later. It's done. You walk down the hallway back at the contestant mansion, thinking of how you just ruined another hero's dreams. Really? What? Really? Like we're the only fucker who votes, right? Yes, it's absolutely this person who's deciding. Well, that's rather self-centered, isn't it? Narcissistic, right? I am the ruiner of everyone's dreams. Behold my power. The Crush warned about this, everyone. The Bear had the most votes, followed by Lucky, Black Magic, and Stage Show last. Summit ended up voting for Black Magic and the Bear, evidently hoping to keep the Alliance feud alive with a split vote, which makes sense since it keeps the target off him as he hangs out in the middle. As a result, the Bear and Lucky were the ones to get nominated, just as you had vote hoped. And when it came down to America's vote, the public showed more support for the Bear, which means the Hero Project's ultimate underdog. Oh, the public abandoning the ultimate underdog. You see, it's America. That's America's fault right there, okay? Fuckers. America could have saved Lucky there. Lucky is gone. When it was all said and done, Lucky wouldn't even look at you, though truth be told, you couldn't exactly bring yourself to look at her either. Lucky was absolutely devastated to be eliminated. She can build off of the legend that she's built here, despite being eliminated. It's fucking better than the entire first book of my character fucking clawing his way forward after everything the hell that happened to him. He is the true ultimate underdog. Fuck this bitch. Lucky my ass. But as you walk into Black Magic's bedroom and find her waiting for you on the bed, you instantly feel better. Looking over Black Magic's smooth, exposed skin, you can't help but think you made the right choice sticking with her. So you decide that you can deal with whatever fallout you might need to later. Because right now, all you care about is Black Magic.